6 half Ironmans and 1 full Ironman.
And
Those are your favorite excuses. I have a headache.
I think my only question will be, what is wrong with you?
Anything that can top a workout is a workout that ends with a good cup of coffee.
So I have prepared like 3-4 questions. Yeah, but I'm just going to spring those questions on you.
Yeah,
I'm not going to tell you.
This is your strategy, ka?
Yeah.
One back you're going to get really.
So, nutritionist, runner, triathlete, one of the nicest, fittest people that I know. Meet Maitreyi Bokil. She, you probably all already know her. She's one of the best. And thank you for agreeing to do this. But anyway, I would have kept pestering you about it, so you would have had to do it eventually. So what I've done is I've written down a few questions, but then we are just kind of going to go our own way. So the first most basic question, how did you get into this? Because I remember Sasha and I used to go to abs and we used to see you work out, okay? And back then also, so if you remember any creepy people staring at you there, that was me. I remember you used to do those spider push-ups and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I used to love those so much. It was so cool. So how did you get into that?
Well, first of all, thank you, Isha. You've always been very sweet. With all your exaggerations.
No. We can have testimonials of people.
No,
Exaggeration. I don't exaggerate.
So, are you trying to ask me how did I get into working
how
out?
did it become your career, nutrition and fitness, and it kind of, I think, just spiraled. Like you started off, and then there's just no stopping you. You do everything.
Yeah, well, I'm born into a family full of doctors, just like you. What happens is when you're not very good at physics, or you think you're not good at physics, because the CET system is, I think, it's not meant to give you the admission. It's meant to not give you the admission, or it's meant to make you feel really bad about yourself. So at that time, I thought I was really not up to the mark. I couldn't have done medicine because I could never have cracked that exam. I didn't even bother giving it.
Same.
I didn't. I rebelled and I did a bunch of things. So I'm a Bharatanatyam dancer, and back in the days, I had gone to watch a friend's Arangetram, and that's when she had a solo stage performance, and that's when I realized what it takes to dance solo with that costume for like 4 hours, 4.5 hours, and to keep the audience interested, you know. And then I realized that I'm going to have to get a lot fitter, and I have to have the same level of energy from the first performance to my last performance. That is when I started. I had pestered my dad long before to buy a treadmill and the home gym. So we had that. So I had started doing the home gym. Then once I had gone for a walk with my mom and my mom's best friend, and we were walking, and they told me that, you're so young, you should be running. So I started running, and I ran like 30 rounds of this 400-meter track without realizing it. And all of that happened at the same time, like the dance thing. And so then I was like, this is pretty fun. So then I used to go every single day and run this, yeah. And I used to just count the rounds. I had no idea about anything, and I was very happy. Then it was time for my Arangetram. So I used to practice the entire recital beforehand. My teacher used to come home at that time to take my practice in the morning, and then we used to do the entire thing with her. And then I used to do strength training in the evening. I don't know. I just don't. It was stupid. But very young. I was not old. I was very young.
How young are you? Because you're in a squat for 4 hours in Bharatanatyam.
Yeah.
It's not even
correct. How old was I? I want to say 16. Wow. I was 16. Yeah. 2006.
So yeah, that's
2006. So 10 years back, whatever. Yeah, more than 10 years. So let's not say how many years back.
Just a little more, maybe.
Little more than 10 years back. So that's how I started. And like I said, I didn't give my CET, and there was a lot of pressure at that time, Indian parents, whatever. So I found great solace at the gym at that time. And that's how I started teaching classes. And somebody told me, why don't you train for aerobics? And then I used to go to Talwarkar and train under that lovely lady over there, and she taught me how to teach classes. Then I enrolled into a BSc general microbiology because I didn't know what to do, and taught these fitness classes on the side, and then did a bunch of certifications. And I think that's when I realized that I still didn't know what I'm going to do in the field of fitness, because it's so, for a young girl, you, at that time, I guess, you feel good teaching classes, but I knew somewhere that I needed to do more than this.
That's not sustainable,
No,
by itself.
it's not. So I used to go to Thailand. I went 3 years with my fitness mentor, for a fitness convention, and those things were very, very new in those days. Like, I've done a bunch of kettlebell workshops, and it was very new at that time. Les Mills, they used to have all their certifications and dance classes and start Pilates and a bunch of things. So I gave a sports nutrition certification exam over there. And that's when I realized that I really don't know anything. I mean, I could be taking all these fitness classes and think I know everything, but I really don't. So then I asked the people who were conducting that certification, about if I want to make this my career, if I want to make nutrition and exercise my career, how do you go about it? So they said the best thing to do is to, come to the US where we are, and actually go through the whole graduation syllabus. So I think that's where it really hit me that I need to, do this properly, and not, not half-heartedly. So that's when I got into it, made it my career.
Wow. And okay, so then you eventually transitioned into running, and then
No, so I was running from that those 30 laps. I never
Still can't
stopped.
do that.
Okay, yeah.
oh my god.
There was one time I remember, and I was oblivious to this. It was getting dark, and I was the only, like bhingri running around a stupid
Burning holes there.
Yeah. And there was one couple who actually stayed back because they got so scared for me. I was so little at that time, and so they told me, they said, you should come early. We waited till you finished, and I was just running. So that didn't stop. Then I met an equally crazy family friend of mine who was at that time doing his Ironmans. He was equally crazy, or crazier, because he was already a doctor. He was doing his residency, and he was also he had registered for Ironman Austria. At that time, I didn't even know what that is. So I used to accompany him on his runs. And he introduced me to the concept of, like, there is a coach and there is a watch, and everything. Yeah. So running has been on since then. Yeah, long time.
Yeah, and from the sound of it, without earphones and all
Nothing with nothing.
I think I would go crazy. Like, by the end of my
Yeah.
maybe 20 rounds, I would be a
Yeah.
proper psycho.
I still haven't figured out the earphones, headphone situation. They keep falling from my ears. So when I was doing my undergrad, I had to run on the treadmill because I'm very bad with roads, and I didn't want to run outside in Miami where I studied. So I had these Bose, I don't know, Beats, I don't know. So, like, these big fancy headphones on. And I used to wear a headband on top of that so they don't fall. And then they short circuited because of the sweat. It used to always happen. I've invested so much money in headphones, earphones, but they have not worked.
What do you listen to though when you do wear headphones?
Oh, music. Now also I do like 60% of my runs indoors on the treadmill, and I'm a dancer. I love listening to music and just letting my thoughts go wherever they want to. I'm not.
See, that's my problem. If I let my mind do that, it's not a nice place to
But
be
with music, but with blasting music.
Yeah, I get bored of that. And my problem is I need to listen to music I can sing along with.
Yeah.
So that is, as it is, a very limited amount of music.
But that's increasing your fitness. That's what Miley Cyrus does. No, that's how she trains for her shows. She runs on the treadmill singing her songs.
How?
Ask her now.
Your
Next guest.
Yeah. Like, my only question will be, what is wrong with you?
But that's how she has to
How?
train. That's why do we do brick workouts? Same thing. That's her sport.
Yeah, right. That makes
know.
sense. Okay, so how many marathons and how many triathlons
Oh my.
have you done?
I've done 9 full marathons, 6
God.
half Ironmans, and 1 full Ironman.
And the world championship.
The 6 half Ironmans include the one and only world championship.
What's the biggest, like, other than the fact that you pretty much die on the full Ironman,
Yeah.
what are the differences in terms of, say, mindset or pacing? I can't even think of what else will be there because I can't even imagine doing like double of that. Like finishing all of that and then going for a full marathon is something that I wouldn't put myself through.
I'll tell you what, honestly, but you don't die in a full Ironman because it is a much you have to really pace yourself. It's not just double the amount of time. It's double the amount of time in every discipline, right?
Yeah.
So it cannot be it cannot be a max workout. It has to be like a sub max workout where you have to really focus on making sure that you physically and mentally last till the last bit. And when you said that I can't even imagine running a marathon after cycling, that is actually a relief because for me, running, I'm more in control of myself when I'm on my 2 feet rather than when I'm getting swayed left, right, front, back on the cycle through winds, through headwinds, tailwinds, crosswinds, and just general anxiety. So when I actually finished the cycling leg and I was in the changing tent with this lady, and she said, "You know what? We only have a marathon now." I said, "That's it."
Yeah.
But in many ways, if you train well, a full Ironman is a much less mentally taxing race than a half Ironman because you are just burning yourself up in a half Ironman, right? Because that's what the race entails.
Yeah.
It is a shorter race, and you definitely know you're going to finish, so you might as well finish strong. In a full Ironman, that is only a big question.
Right.
That am I going to last these 14 hours, or being Indians, we are not going to really finish in single digits. I mean, at least not me, and I think a majority of us. Of course, there are some exceptional athletes, and that's fantastic. But if you ask them, they will say the same thing, that you have to pace, and you have to make sure that your heart rate, your heart has adapted, so that if you do decide to put in some training variable and focus on that, like what's on the cycle or on the run, you have to train much higher during your training so that you can hold that much on the race day. So that means you really have to work your heart. So that's a lot of zone 2 workouts. Yeah.
Does it like completely take over your life though, the amount of training? Because even for the 70.3s, I felt like for 5 months or something, my whole life was that, which was great because I could tell people that I can't meet them because oh my god, I got training.
Finally, you had an excuse.
Yeah, and
that was your favorite excuse, is I have a headache. You said that to me once.
Yeah. And that's a problem because I do have migraines. So half of the time I actually have headaches, but then nobody believes me anymore. So the training is a good excuse. But also, I feel like when I want to give time to someone, like my husband's been bitching about it. He's like, please take a break now. Like, what is this going on? Like, your whole life is you just work and then you work out and then you're eating and then that's all you're doing and then you pass out in the evenings.
Yeah. So, it does take over your life, it because that's just, it is supposed to.
Yeah,
that's why you have signed up for it, because it is supposed to be all consuming. And
that's why it's a bucket list race.
Correct. I think there are very few fortunate ones who keep doing it again and again, and hats off to them. But like, once an Ironman, always an Ironman.
Yes.
I don't have to do it.
Expect all my future content to be around that.
Oh. Yeah, but I think when you sign up for it, it's always a good idea to have a community so that you are in that atmosphere. you know.
Yeah.
Um,
And also, you have a lot of questions. Like the amount of times I've asked you stupid questions, like
Yeah.
where do I pee? You know.
yeah.
So, but I feel like Ironman is a community. I've realized
Yeah.
that people will help you. Like they
Yeah,
just
yeah.
if
Because
they know you're in the
there's
race.
no, you know, why will they not? You've all
Right.
paid for your own, you know, registration fee, and this is your own thing.
Yeah, and
You're,
somehow
you're not responsible for anybody else. You are responsible for yourself.
and the whole like extremely competitive thing does not happen in Ironman, and I feel like running also because it's mostly adults, so we are not that close in competition with each other per
No.
se.
Yeah, correct.
So,
And I think everybody is in a different mindset, especially the full Ironman. You're just focusing on yourself and making sure that your mental health, by that time, your physical fitness should be, you know,
yes.
right up there. But it's all about what games your mind plays with you, and you just want to make sure that your gut health and your mental health, they are both with you on that day, so you have an enjoyable experience. Because for so many of us, we may not do it again, or it takes a lot, you know, to lug your bike and yourself over there.
Yeah, so 15 hours, what do you do about toilet? Like pee you can do on that day, but what if you need to poop or something?
So there are a lot of porta potties. You just
You have to stop and like
you have to stop.
peel that thing off.
Definitely, I thought
That is so difficult.
But then you wear a two-piece tri-suit. I'm not one of those who can wear a, you know, a single tri-suit for a full Ironman.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I love our tri-piece tri-suits for 70.3, but I'm just hoping Arjun also comes up with a two-piece tri-suit for the full.
He does have those jerseys.
Correct.
I think
he
he
has
launched
jerseys
the
and
shorts.
shorts. Correct. But those are cycling jerseys.
They're not trying.
Yeah. But I was wearing not a tri-suit for my full Ironman. And I was actually wearing for my run, I was wearing a marathon t-shirt.
I saw that.
Yeah, and shorts. That is, yeah, it's just convenient.
Yeah, it makes sense because also I feel like if you're like in the sweat for that long, maybe you get some allergies or something.
No, the thing is, if you're lucky, you'll get rain, which washes a lot of things away. You know.
Yeah.
And even on I mean, there are so many opportunities to throw fresh water on yourself and, you know, wash away the sweat.
Oh yeah, while runs, I'm sure.
Even on the bike. So even on the bike, you can just
we do that. Yeah,
I mean, you put water on your head.
Forgotten
you need to repeat
it.
Go!
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I want to do a full, and then I'm like, it's just too much. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. Let's see. But it is on my bucket.
We'll do one together.
Yeah.
We'll rope in a
like
third
you
person
finish,
also.
you have your meal and stuff, and wait for me at the finish line.
We'll all finish together.
I don't think so.
We'll all finish together. It's just what it is.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't matter.
No, I have seen you run.
But not in a full Ironman. You get bored, you know, you're like, how much time now? Might as well walk.
Yeah. I mean, for my first one, I'm pretty sure I'm going to walk anyway.
Yeah.
Because I just want to finish. That is
correct.
Going
but
to
that
be
is
it.
But that is everybody.
Yeah. I mean, for a full. What are some of the like funny, weird sort of episodes that you've had in your races, if you can think of any?
In the World Championship, the half Ironman World Championship where I went, I was wearing, what is that brand? What is that brand that starts with S? Saucony? No.
The shoes?
No. The tri-suit brand.
Oh, sub.
What is it? I forgot it.
Santini.
Santini. Correct. So there are a couple of funny incidents, but I will tell you the first one. I was wearing this orange Santini jacket and my tri-suit and my headband and all of that, and I'm riding this really vintage bike, okay, and it was an all-girls race, and the boys were racing the next day, and women were just zooming past me, you know, and they looked amazing in these amazing tri-suits or whatnots that they were wearing. They really looked like Aphrodites, and I looked like a like a sack of bricks.
I don't believe that.
No, I'm serious. And then I was so disheartened because not to make excuses, but I had this horrible flu the week before, and everything. So my legs are basically jammed up. But even if I didn't have the flu, it's not like I would be zooming. But anyways, and I was in my own world, and I just looked up and I saw this one hill, and then I said, "Oh fuck!" And then Corina, who's my friend, who is she's amazing. She just turned 60. She just came up from behind and she's like, "Oh well, nobody saw that." I was like, "Oh God, where did it come from?" I think, and the funniest incident is my first race was actually Ironman Hamburg, where I went in 2021 in the COVID bubble, and I was so excited about doing an Ironman. I had not trained for it. Anyways, I spent the same amount of money in the race expo that I spent for the race registration, and I did not finish the race.
Oh God. What happened in that race? You weren't prepared.
Yeah, to start with, I really wasn't prepared. I really wasn't prepared. And I did only one build, which was very unfortunate. The water was very, very cold. Okay. I know that guys are going to be racing Hamburg on the 1st of June now, a lot of people. So Astor Lake is where we swam. The swim was fine. I didn't realize how badly the cold hit me that I was shivering throughout.
Oh.
Then it rained on the bike and everything. So that you really go out there on the countryside in Hamburg, and it's a flat, it's a lovely race. And there was a very sharp U-turn, and I thought that I don't want to take this sharp U-turn. I'm going to stop and tilt the bike,
yes,
and then start again. But when I stopped, my legs just completely cramped, both my legs, and I fell down. And that kept happening. And then I went into a really bad mental spiral where I forgot how to uncleat, because I got very scared and I was very cold. And then and then I got hurt because I fell from the bike.
Yeah.
And the volunteers actually poured cold water on that. It was just a bunch of unfortunate incidences. So what ended up happening was I just didn't have that much time to finish the bike cutoff. I could have done it, but they also have their rules. I still had 30 kilometers to go.
Oh, so you were almost done.
Yeah, so at 150 kilometers on the bike leg. But
you pushed through the cramping for that.
Yeah. Because that's what you do, right? There's so much adrenaline. I couldn't. Because when you're also one of the last contenders, the headwinds pick up because there's nobody in front of you.
Oh, yes.
Right? So I just couldn't pick up the pace on the bike after that, no matter what I did. And then I had to sit in the van and come back. But yeah, but I have a lot of merchandise, and I have never gone to the expo after that because I have so much trauma from that race.
Usually my route around the expo is, I look at everything, realize it's too expensive, and then I keep walking.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely expensive.
Yeah. Nice. So that was mostly what I wanted to ask, mostly around that. Because nutrition stuff, everybody can find information on, on your social media.
Correct.
It was just these experiences because they're so interesting.
Yeah.
What races are you doing next?
So I have just taken a backseat from triathlons. I don't know why. I'm just running as of now.
Girl, take a break.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So I'm running now. I'm just going to be doing Satara. I'm telling you that I'm doing Satara and not just showing up on the race day.
I did not know I'm going to do it till the last day.
Impossible.
But it was a surprisingly good race for me.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Nothing. I just have Satara planned, and I hope to run one marathon, which is a strong one. I hope. That's it.
I've realized marathons are like my white whale. by this point.
Yeah, you back
Because-
out.
No,
every
the
time.
first one I backed out.
Yeah.
The second one I had the injury, so my doctor
Correct.
said, "Don't run, your shoulder will come
And you
off."
had really trained for
I
it.
know that one I would have completed. So yeah.
Definitely. And finished strong also.
I mean, I would have finished at least because
Yeah.
that is where that's where the Delhi one I hadn't shown up for. Because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to complete. Like, the longest I've run is 27. I'm not convinced I can finish. But this year I was so ready.
Yeah, it's a little jinxed
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
don't know when I'm going to do it.
in the Ironman.
No. Before that, I'll have to finish a race.
That's what you
Finish an
think.
actual marathon.
That's what you. No, there's no need. There's no need. If you want to, you can. But you know, there's no real need because it's a very different training.
No, I don't have confidence in myself for any race unless I have done 3/4 of it at least. So because I had run some 35-ish kilometers.
Yeah, but
I
for your
was-
Ironman, you'll be doing a big workout like that. Hello.
Yeah.
So then it's like.
But
a
even
full
before my
confidence booster.
70.3, I was the first one, I wasn't sure I'm going to finish. So I told
Very
everybody
nervous.
not to tell anyone.
Yeah.
But because I cannot control my father-in-law and my husband, they told everybody. Like everybody around me was like, "Oh, we thought you were doing that." I was like, "No, please don't. What if I don't complete?"
No, I remember. And then I said, let's meet for coffee. And he was so quiet.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do remember the coffee.
I was
I
only
don't
talking.
know.
I was like,
Yeah,
But
because
it's
I
always
did
nervous.
not. And you know what? Another thing I did was I didn't go for the cycling route trekking. I went in the car because I was like, I'm not risking it on me. I'm just
remember.
gonna. But that was
Yeah.
fine. It worked out okay.
I think it's your sport. You pace yourself very well.
Yeah, because I just slow the hell down.
Same.
I chill because I do it to
Correct.
not to win anything.
I have
do
also
it
figured
for
out that
enjoyment.
running is a sport where I can.
How dare you?
No, running is a. Oh, come on! You finished Goa so well last year.
It
I
was
totally
okay.
struggled. You know, anything can happen.
But
in a
you struggled
triathlon.
because you weren't well.
Yeah, horrible.
But it was a weird race for everyone. So I also had fallen in.
Should we be saying that on your podcast? So like Goa.
The last race was weird for everyone. Your whole group had food poisoning.
My
had
coach
fever.
flew back.
Yeah. And, oh my god! And everybody had food poisoning. It was crazy. And I had fever. So
Correct.
hmm,
On
so-
that day, no?
Yeah. So my mom gave me steroids. And then she gave me the steroids because I was like, I'm going to race. If I've come here, it's like one day before that, I'm going to finish the race. So she gave that. And then the whole time she was on phone with Amar, just pull her out of the race if it seems like she's going to flail or something. So he was like watching me
You were
pretty
fine.
closely.
You were totally.
But
Thank God,
the
touch
way
wood.
my legs have hurt after that for a whole week.
So much weakness, yeah. As it is in the flu, they are not the best.
Yeah, and probably not the best idea to push that much. But I felt okay. Otherwise, I would have left.
Yeah. That's the thing about that. That's I would say the beauty of triathlon is that you can really choose your intensity. There's a lot of time to finish.
I feel like there's a basic criteria of some mental health problem for doing that because
yeah.
the kind of stuff we push through
Yeah.
for the race, I don't think.
And we
is
just
normal.
okay everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, like this is paining a little. Yeah, that's fine. Because my surgeon also asked me. He was like, "It must have hurt a lot, right?" I said, "No, it wasn't hurting. It's just that I couldn't do the bent over rows that day. That's how I ended up seeing my physiotherapist, and she's like, it feels like a tear to me. Go get the MRI." And then ended up having 8 anchors in that, which is supposed to be a lot.
Oh my God.
But it didn't hurt. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I think we're just
You're
so
just-
used to everything paining. It's just I should wake up and say, okay, maybe it's just paining. Maybe I need to
I
either do
know.
more or maybe
yeah.
take a rest day. or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. In fact, before Goa, I really didn't. I was so out of it. My mom is the only person who said nothing will happen. Go and race. It's okay. Yeah, even Rohan, my husband was like, no, maybe we'll just wait and watch. But yeah, swim was my criteria. If I can complete the swim and I'm not dizzy, then okay, start the cycle.
But you were dizzy, right? During the cycle or something?
Cycle was so bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was really bad. And it was so hot. I almost thought that whatever water I was pouring on myself would sizzle. It's that hot.
was.
Oh
But
God.
also, maybe it was hotter to you because you were
Same.
unwell.
Yeah, like to all of us who were unwell, I think you lost your electrolyte bottle or something.
Yeah, oh my god, my camelback bottle. I have shed tears for it. I still
Yeah.
have it. She was my precious.
At least you lost it in a race. My dog has gone through it. She bit it. She ate it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd saved that bottle from everyone.
I understand.
And because I'm very stupid, I had one bottle of water and one bottle of electrolyte, and the electrolyte fell off. So I just water. So I don't know. I just and the electrolytes that they gave weren't really that concentrated or enough, and there's just a limit to how much of that you can.
That
do.
was predominantly salt,
Yes.
which was fine, but no carbs.
Yeah,
I don't know
but-
what you did for carbs. Gels.
Gels.
Yeah.
I had extra gels. Thankfully, because
yeah.
of you, I carry a lot of extra
Yeah.
gels.
Yeah. We must. All of us
So,
must. Yeah.
Cool. This was nice. Thank you. Thank you so much for making time. I think I'm going to put it up like unedited because it was very
Put it
fun.
up. No, but what I'm trying to say is, your rambling people will listen to. They don't want only
Yeah,
like.
I personally like listening, overhearing such conversations. Because the technical podcasts, there are so many where, I'll ask you how to go about with this and you'll tell me. But this is more like personal experiences and give and take. So it's a mix between those lifestyle podcasts and fitness podcasts. So I feel like it's a nice niche to be in.
Cool. My podcast have to stop doing.
You have to start doing it. You have so many followers on that.
Do I?
It was doing